In 71 BC, 6,000 men were nailed to wooden crosses along the Appian Way. 200 kilometers of bodies twisted in pain, lined from Capua to the very gates of Rome. Crows fed on them for weeks. But this massacre was not an act of war. It was a punishment. And according to Rome, it was completely legal. Behind the aqueducts, the philosophers, and the white togas, there existed a system of justice designed with a single purpose: to terrorize, not to correct, not to rehabilitate, to terrify until the very idea of defying Rome caused more pain than death itself. Welcome to Curioholics. Today, we unearth the most brutal punishments of the Roman Empire, the ones that worked so well as tools of fear, that later historians tried to erase them from the records. Chapter 1. The Perfect Machine of Terror. To understand Rome's cruelty, you first have to understand something fundamental. Rome did not punish everyone equally. In ancient Rome, there was a brutal legal divide. If you were a Roman citizen, a civis, you had certain rights. Your harshest punishment was decapitation, a quick death, almost merciful. But if you were a slave, a foreigner, or worse, a traitor, you were not considered human under the law. You were a broken tool, and broken tools did not deserve mercy. They were meant to be displayed as a warning. This was not a flaw in the system. It was the system. Roman jurists designed each punishment with surgical precision, not to deliver justice, but to send a message to the millions of slaves who outnumbered free citizens. A simple message: obedience is life. Rebellion is something worse than death. And when I say worse than death, I am not exaggerating in the slightest, because the Romans perfected something no other ancient civilization achieved with such efficiency: the art of keeping someone alive while they endured the unimaginable. What do you think was the worst possible punishment? Crucifixion? Being thrown to the lions? Stay with me, because what comes next makes those seem like acts of mercy. Chapter 2. The Four Most Atrocious Punishments. Punishment number 1. Decimatio. Imagine this. Your legion has been defeated in battle, not because you were a coward, but because the enemy was superior. It doesn't matter. Rome does not accept defeat, ever. The general gathers all the survivors, lines them up in perfect ranks, then orders each group of 10 soldiers to draw a stone from a bag. 9 white stones, 1 black. The soldier who draws the black stone is beaten to death by his 9 companions, his own brothers in arms. The most twisted part: it wasn't punishment for betrayal, it was punishment for losing. And the 9 who survived carried the guilt of killing their comrade for the rest of their lives. Rome didn't just destroy bodies, it destroyed minds. Punishment number 2, the Poena Cullei, the punishment of the sack. If you killed your own father in Rome, you did not deserve a human death. You deserved something designed to erase you from existence itself. You were sewn inside a leather sack along with 4 live animals: a rooster, a dog, a monkey, and a viper. Then the sack was thrown into the Tiber River. Each animal carried symbolic meaning. The rooster represented the vigilance you failed to show. The dog, the loyalty you betrayed. The monkey, your degradation into something less than human. And the viper was pure cruelty. You died drowning, scratched, bitten, and poisoned, all at the same time. And your body was never given a burial. To Rome, you had never existed. Punishment number 3. Damnatio ad bestias, condemnation to the beasts. This was not the gladiator games Hollywood sells us. Gladiators were trained athletes with a real chance of survival. Damnatio ad bestias was the opposite. You were chained to a post in the center of the arena, completely defenseless, no weapons, no armor. Then they released lions, bears, leopards, and bulls, often starved for days. 50,000 people watched, cheered, placed bets on how long you would last. Emperors staged these spectacles during religious festivals. Emperor Trajan, celebrated as one of the good emperors, executed more than 11,000 people and 10,000 animals during 123 consecutive days of games. This was not justice, it was entertainment, and the entire city took part. Punishment number 4. Crucifixion, the punishment Rome perfected into a science of pain. Crucifixion was not invented by the Romans, but they turned it into the most sophisticated instrument of terror in the ancient world. What most people don't know is that crucifixion was designed not to kill you, at least not quickly. You could survive on the cross for 2 to 4 days. Every breath was calculated agony. You had to push yourself up on nailed feet just to expand your lungs. Eventually, dehydration, asphyxiation, and shock would end your life. But the real purpose was not your death, it was your exposure. They crucified victims at the busiest intersections, at city entrances, along trade routes. You were a billboard of Roman terror, your body silently screaming, "Do not defy Rome." And this brings us to the moment when someone finally dared to defy it. Chapter 3. Spartacus and Rome's most brutal response. In 73 BC, a Thracian gladiator named Spartacus did something Rome considered impossible. He rebelled. With 70 gladiators armed with kitchen knives, he escaped from a training school in Capua. Within months, his army grew to 120,000 men. Runaway slaves, prisoners of war, desperate peasants, all united under his banner. Spartacus defeated legion after legion. He humiliated generals who had conquered entire nations. For 2 years, the most famous slave in history made the most powerful civilization in the world tremble. But Rome did not tremble for long. In 71 BC, General Marcus Licinius Crassus, the richest man in Rome, crushed the rebellion in a final, devastating battle in southern Italy. Spartacus died fighting. His body was never found. And then, Crassus devised the most memorable punishment in all of Roman history. 6,000 prisoners from the rebellion were crucified along the Appian Way, the main road connecting Capua to Rome. 200 kilometers of crosses, one every 30 meters. Anyone traveling toward Rome had to walk among them, hear their screams, smell death, and understand with absolute clarity what it meant to rebel against the empire. The bodies remained there for months. No one dared to remove them. And here is the most disturbing part. According to the records, the Roman senators applauded Crassus's decision. They did not consider it excessive. They considered it necessary. Today, we celebrate Rome as the cradle of Western civilization. We study its law, its architecture, its engineering, but we rarely look beneath the marble foundations. The Roman Empire did not survive 500 years because of its aqueducts. It survived because it built the most efficient system of terror the world has ever known. Every crucifixion, every public execution, every sack thrown into the Tiber was a message carved into the flesh of those who dared to question the order. Were they monsters, or were they simply the first to understand that fear is the cheapest and most effective weapon in history? History is never as clean as we are told, and empires are never as glorious as they are portrayed. If you're fascinated by the hidden side of history, hit like and subscribe to Curioholics Epic Chronicles. Leave your opinion in the comments. Which Roman punishment did you find the most terrifying? See you in the next Epic Chronicle. Until then, stay curious.